Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're back bringing you some Honkai Star Rail video today. Today's video is going to be on Ruan Mei. Obviously, she's going to be coming out on the 27th of December, and honestly, I think every single person who's played the game is honestly very excited about the game. But obviously we're going to do a pre-analysis on what I think of the character and how I think we should build the character. Obviously this is not speculation towards what you should build specifically. I think this should just be towards what you want and how you play the game. Obviously I think every single person has a single way or multiple ways to play the game, so obviously my way is just my way and your way is just your way. But with that said, let's hop into the video and see what we can do and what obviously I think on how we should build the character. So as we move on to her skill set, her basic attack is just a general basic attack. It deals ice damage equal obviously to a percentage of her attack to a single enemy, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, pretty obviously just it's a basic attack. So as we move on to her skill is called Strings Sing Slow Swirls, and what the skill does is after she uses a skill, Ruan Mei gains Overtone, which lasts for 3 turns, and then this duration decreases by 1 turn at the start of Ruan Mei's turn. So every single time it comes to her, the duration comes down. So obviously from that, I understand that you shouldn't build her with speed, so obviously she can be the last person playing. Obviously when she has this, when she plays this skill, or rather when Ruan Mei has Overtone, all allies damage increases by a percentage and the weakness break efficiency increases by also a percentage. We haven't been given that percentage yet, but obviously that's going to be showing up later when the actual character comes out. Now, as we move on to her ultimate, it's called the Petals to Stream Repose in Dream. Ruan Mei deploys a field that lasts 2 turns. This field duration decreases by 1 turn at the start of a turn, while inside the field, all allies all-type resistant pen increases by a percentage of their attack, and obviously this applies what we call Thanatoplum Rebloom, I don't know how to pronounce that, to the enemy's hit. When this enemies attempt to recover from a weakness break, this obviously effect is triggered, extending the duration of their weakness break, delaying the action by an amount equal to a percentage of Ruan Mei's break effect plus a specific percent. Now we don't know if that's actually conclusive yet, but obviously on top of that, it deals a break damage equal to a percentage of her attack, or rather her ice damage attack. And then obviously the enemy targets cannot have, obviously one thing that the enemies can't have is this effect that she brings in reapplied to them until they recover from the weakness break. Now as we move on obviously to her technique, which is called Silken Serenade. After using a technique, she gains Silken Serenade, which means at the start of the next battle automatically triggers the skill for the first time without consuming a skill point. In Simulated Universe, however, when Ruan Mei has Silken Serenade, the team actively attacking enemies will always be regarded as attacking their weakness to enter battle, and this attack can reduce all enemies' toughness regardless of the weakness type. When breaking the weakness, when breaking weaknesses, triggers weakness break effect corresponding to the attacker's type. For every blessing in possession, additionally increases the toughness reducing damage of this attack by a certain percent. And after breaking an enemy's target weakness, additionally deals enemy target break damage equal to 100%. In short, basically her technique, which is when you're starting obviously the battle, when you obviously hit someone, what it does is that it just completely depletes the enemy toughness gauge, but also deals damage equal to that obviously element that you've hit that enemy with, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, as you move on now to obviously building her up, what I would recommend is go to the Hoyo Lab, and then obviously if you search her up, it'll give you kind of a traces. But if you're obviously looking to completely max her out, obviously the photo is going to be on the picture here, and you can see obviously all the traces that you obviously need to max her to the max level. So if you have, in this few days that you have, kind of, let's see if you can kind of pre-farm, because most of the materials that are needed to pre-farm her are not out yet. So what I'd suggest is obviously farming for the things that you can get as of now, right now, and that's pretty much it for the traces. Now we don't actually have a confirmation of what her Lightcone does, but obviously what I'd suggest is obviously if you are planning to pull for Lightcone. Obviously here is her materials to obviously max out the Lightcone. We don't have details as of yet of what it does, but obviously being a Harmony 5-star character, obviously it's going to be at the level in which Bronya's Lightcone is, which is basically doing the whole process of skill point and even possibly like an extra percentage of extra damage towards an enemy. But yeah, if you have any plans to obviously get her Lightcone, here are the traces, here are the materials. Obviously you can max it out with this and pre-farm for that. So as we actually move on to her build in terms of her artifact set, I'd say that there's specific ways or different ways I think we can build her. From what we understand from the site, that she actually does give a speed buff. So I think the speed artifact set would be really good, obviously giving about 16% and then advancing forward another 25% would be really good, specifically, and increasing speed for all allies as well. I think that would be a really good artifact set as a general, but she also scales off break effect. So one of the major things is whether we're actually going to be able to build the break effect artifact, which we might obviously now start incorporating into her kit. But as a general rule of thumb, I think the speed artifact would be better. And in terms of her planet ionosphere, I'd probably go for the sprightly Von Mark for the energy regeneration. Or if you want to obviously have resistance and have more of a tanky build, I think the Broken Kill would also be a sort of good replacement. But again, this is a pre-analysis. We're yet to see how the character is going to come out and what she does. So obviously onto that, I'd say let's wait for it to come out and then we can go from there. So another question beckons is, should you roll for Ruan Mei or should you save up your Stellar Jade? Now obviously everybody's hyped up about Ruan Mei. Roll for her, get her. She's going to break the meta, but realistically, this is my answer to the question. If you have an account that is able to clear out MOC 10 without any issue, without any difficulty, I do not think that you should roll for Ruan Mei, especially if you're free to play. I think you should save up for another character, whether be it Harmony or be it DPS. I think it's good for you to save up for another character. Now, if you've just created another account and you're looking to obviously just add to that character roster, yes, go ahead. I mean, I have 4 accounts, and one of them has enough Stellar Jade to basically summon for Ruan Mei. But that's just a backup account, just for the sake of playing. Like it's not my main account. Like I don't do anything with that account. I play it occasionally. But if it's my main account, no, I don't think I'm gonna summon for her, and I'll tell you why. I was lucky enough to get an E1 S1 Bronya, an E6 Ting Yun, and I was actually even lucky enough to get an E0 S2 Jinglu. Now I am able to clear MOC perfectly, like without fail, on that account. And it would be a waste with all the Stellar Jade I have saved to get a character that just sort of increases break efficiency and some damage. Because if you look at Bronya, she does the whole aspect of even, advancing your action and increasing your single target damage close to even 130%. So I think realistically my answer to this question is if you're able to clear MOC 10 easily, you do not need to roll for her. If you are obviously a new player and you have created a new account, go ahead, add it to the roster. But my opinion, I don't think it's worth it for a free to play to roll for this character, especially if you have an Imbibitor Luna in your account. I would actually suggest wait for the kit review for Sparkle and then choose to basically say, I will roll for Sparkle. Because right now, I'll be honest with you, she's very meta and she's very wanted by everyone. But for free to play players, you really have to think about it objectively and understand. Do I really need the character, or am I just getting a dopamine rush from all the excitement that every single person is giving? And that's pretty much it. So again, it's up to you. Should you roll? It's up to you. If you're free to play, my suggestion, no. Especially if you're able to clear MOC 10 easily. Yes. If you're obviously paid to win, go ahead. You have the money. We don't have that money, but yeah. But with that said, thank you so much for tuning into the channel, and I will see you all in the next one.